my name's Angela. I have a sister, Anne, who is Down syndrome, special needs. Anne lived at home, obviously, with my parents, and we come from a very large family. There are 7 of us, 7 children altogether in a large family. And I think we just took it for granted that Anne was just a sister and the extra need wasn't really needed there, whereas my mother was always the one who worried about Anne and what would happen after, I don't know, I suppose when she died, she'd always worry about what would happen after Anne. So in 2001, due to my grandmother being quite ill, my mother and father decided to go back home to Jamaica to care for my grandmother. So they asked Anne if she wanted to go, and Anne said no. She just wasn't going to go anywhere. So my husband and I suggested that Anne came and live with us here in our home, which Anne was happy for because Anne loves her routine. She loves going to her day centre, she loves going to the Gateway Club, and all of that would be taken away from her if she went abroad because clearly they wouldn't have those facilities for her. So my mother, still worrying about Anne, agreed. Anne was over the moon. I think my mother was the one who wasn't over the moon. So she agreed that Anne would come and live here with my family. My family consisted of my husband and my 3 children. So came to live here. Anne's happy, but my husband he had concerns that because Anne had always had her independence living at home, in the sense that all us children had now moved away. She had this big house and just my mum and dad there, so she could do very much what she wanted to. Whereas when she was living here, it's not that she couldn't do what she wanted to, but she was restricted because obviously there were more people in the house. And my husband just had a concern. My concern was like, no, Anne's stopping here and she's got to be happy because she's with me. I mean, how much happier can one get? But once we've sat and spoke about it and realised that Anne's needs needed to be met. And I wasn't going to be meeting them because I'd now turned into my mum, that I can do this for Anne, I can do this for Anne, and I know what Anne's needs are best. And once we've spoken to Anne and said to her, would you like to live on your own? And she said yes, to my disappointment, because that proved my husband right and me wrong. But anyway, so much to my... and she said yes. We then felt that it was, obviously, we had to look and see what Anne's needs were. So once I've now gotten around the idea that Anne was going to be moving out, then I became the tyrant of Northampton and demanding and insisting that my sister got the best that Northamptonshire Social Service had to offer.